Hey guys, welcome to the world of English exams. This video is going to tell you how to improve your band scores from band 5 to band 8 in the speaking test. So stay tuned till the end of the video if you wish to know the complete information of how to increase your scores. So the first thing to know is that there are certain factors called band descriptors which are used for marking your speaking test, and these band descriptors are those criteria which will assess your speaking test. There are four such band descriptors for speaking which are called fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. So if you bear in your mind that your speaking will be assessed on these criteria, I definitely think that you will be prepared in a better way to answer the questions. So we shall understand this criteria based on this table. So this table clearly enlightens us about each of these band descriptors in detail from band 0 to band 9. If you look at the extreme left, you can see that the bands are clearly highlighted from 0 to 9. I hope you can see that. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just zoom it, and I'm going to divide it into every band descriptor, which means I'm going to separately explain what is fluency and coherence, how to improve your score. Then we'll go about understanding lexical resource and how to improve our scores. So let's begin. So if you see clearly, because fluency and coherence is the first factor, we are going to talk about this factor in detail to understand what exactly you need in order to get that band 9. Now let's start with the lowest band, that is 2. So the characteristic of a person who is going to score a band 2 for fluency and coherence is pauses lengthily before most of the words. Obviously fluency is lacking, so fluency is nothing but maintaining a continuous flow of speech. So if that flow of speech is hindered, and if that flow is you know stopped with lengthy pauses before the words, then definitely little communication is possible. That's why the candidate is getting a 2. Now before we move on to the next element of fluency and coherence, let's see how to improve this. So a person with band 2 pauses lengthily. Now if you see band 3 speaks with long pauses, so still that is not corrected. A person who is getting band 3 also is speaking with long pauses. Next, let's go on to band 4 for the same thing. I just want you to look at the first point. Cannot respond without noticeable pauses and may speak slowly. So if you're speaking too slowly, and if you think that this will help you to drag the time for that 1 or 2 minutes, especially in the second part of the speaking test, then you have to improve your thought process. That doesn't work that way, because if you're speaking with noticeable pauses, then the score which you're going to get is 4. Next, let's see band 5 for the same factor. Usually maintains a flow of speech. See, here there is a correction. From band 4 to band 5, there is a clear-cut improvement, but usually maintains flow of speech but uses repetition. So this is one factor which is lowering the score. So a person who is willing to at least continue the flow is definitely going to get a band 5. Now if you see towards the right side, band 6 for the same factor says is willing to speak at length. So even the person who is getting a band 5 or above is usually maintaining a flow of speech. Now band 7 says speaks at length without noticeable effort. So definitely the person who is aiming for a band 7 has to maintain that flow of speech. So band 8 says speaks fluently. So clearly there is no problem at all with the flow of speech. Next, band 9 says speaks fluently with rare repetition. See, this is how you have to analyze the band descriptors, guys. And I have given you a clear checklist also, but one of the points in that checklist says avoid lengthy pauses. So if you can do this, definitely you can get a high score for fluency. Next, again we will look at band 3. Has limited ability to link the sentences, which means you're just going on telling sentences, not you in the real sense, but a person who is getting a band 3 has a very limited ability to link the simple sentences, and too many simple sentences are put forth. And this person can only give simple sentences and is frequently unable to convey the message. So the ideas are too simple and they are not coherent, which means ideas are partially or completely unrelated to the given topic. So in that case, definitely the band score is going to be lower. Then a person who is getting band 4, as we already saw the first point, it is lengthy pauses are still existent and links the basic sentences but with repetitive use of simple connectives. Now here we got another point. This person is using something called connectives. In short, connectives are words which connect the sentences, something like for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so, however, although, in addition, in contrast, on the other hand, such words. So they're also called discourse markers. We have already made a video on that, so do check our YouTube channel for linking words. Now so a person who is getting band 4 is unable to show that coherence and unable to link the simple sentences. Moving on to band 5, this person usually maintains a flow of speech but uses repetition, self correction. There is one more point here, which is self correction, and slow speech to keep it going. So if the rate of speech is too slow, then definitely the person would be given a band 5. So if at all somebody is rating your speaking, maybe an instructor or a tutor or a trainer, then definitely if they're giving you a band 5 the next time, you should understand that this is what you're doing. So if you avoid these mistakes, definitely you're going to improve your scores. Next, may overuse certain connectives and discourse markers. Just now I was mentioning to you what are connectives and discourse markers. If you overuse them, then definitely that's not a great sign. Some students will often have this misconception that because they know the discourse markers, if they use it in sentences, their score is going to improve. But no, appropriate use of connectors is needed. If you see band 6 for the same thing, is willing to speak at length, though may lose coherence at times due to repetition, self-correction, hesitation. So these 3 qualities are not at all encourageable in the speaking test. I repeat once again: repetition, self-correction, hesitation. So these three things have to be avoided. Then band 7 highlights one more point here: may demonstrate language related hesitation. Now what is the difference between content related hesitation and language hesitation? If you see, band 7 says may demonstrate language related hesitation, whereas when you move to band 8 and band 9, it says hesitation is usually content related. Even for band 9 also it says any hesitation is content related. Now I'm going to tell you what is the difference between content related hesitation and language related hesitation. Language related hesitation means a person is searching for words. He is not well equipped with the English language. That's why, in short, the person does not know synonyms for that, for a particular word. So that is called language related hesitation. Whereas content related hesitation means the person already knows the language, but he or she is searching for a better word, a better synonym to convey the message. So this can be clearly noticed. So always try to avoid hesitation as much as possible. However, if it is unavoidable, then go for content related hesitation. Show that you are searching for a better word and not looking for a suitable word. There is a difference here, and as we can clearly see, the band improvement is from 7 to 9 if you're practicing this. So never avoid this, guys. And the last point says, let's move on to band 5. So band 5 says, the last point in band 5, produces simple speech fluently, but more complex communication causes fluency problems. That means if this person speaks using simple sentences, he or she is very much comfortable. However, if they try to explain something in a very elaborative manner, then definitely communication problems are arising, which means fluency is missing. And band 6 says, uses a range of connectives and discourse markers but not appropriately. So this person is definitely trying for complex communication, however it is not possible because of repetitive use of connectives and discourse markers in an inappropriate way. Then band 7 says, uses a range of connectives and discourse markers with some flexibility. So definitely a range of connectors is definitely going to get you to that band 8 and band 9. That's what we understand, right? So that is what the band 8 says, develops topics coherently. So the more you develop the concept, the more you extend your ideas with reasons and supporting evidences, the better you score. So band 9, see, develops topics fully and appropriately. Now in short, this is nothing but fluency and coherence. For your easy understanding, I have given a checklist what all you need to ensure to get a high score for fluency and coherence. So this is the checklist for that. First one, you have to avoid lengthy pauses. Next, mind mapping is very important. What is mind mapping? This is a technique of noting all the related ideas and vocabulary to a topic. So here we have seen that in order to develop the topics completely, you need this technique called mind mapping. We are soon going to come up with a video for mind mapping. So do stay tuned to our YouTube channel, World of English Exams, for that. Then avoid self-correction, avoid repetition of phrases, develop the ideas completely. Use discourse markers appropriately and connectives. Avoid hesitation. So is it clear, guys? So this is how you have to frame your own checklist, or maybe you are free to use this checklist while evaluating your score for fluency and coherence. So nobody needs to tell you where exactly you're standing. So you can self-evaluate. So that's why this checklist has been given to you. You please make a note of this somewhere and you can start using it. Now moving on to the next factor, that is lexical resource, which means vocabulary. So in order to get a band 9 for vocabulary, I am just taking you from band 2 to band 9 again. So a person who gets a band 2 for lexical resource essentially produces some isolated or memorized utterances. See, there are test takers who think that if they get to know some model answers, they can just memorize those model answers and repeat during the test. So this is called memorize utterances. So if you are speaking these memorized utterances, definitely the trainers, the person who is evaluating your test is trained to spot such memorized utterances, and the score is going to be 2. So never do this. So, and a person with band 3 uses simple vocabulary, so has insufficient vocabulary for less familiar topics. That means if let's say I am familiar with a particular topic, I can speak at length about that. However, if I am given a topic which I'm not familiar with, which I don't know, then definitely I'm unable to extend my ideas and speak. So then the band score falls down to 3. And one more essential point here is use a simple vocabulary. That means I'm not at all trying to use synonyms. I'm just repeating the active vocabulary. So vocabulary is generally of two types, guys: active and passive. So active vocabulary base is active vocabulary base consists of words which you generally use while speaking. So these vocabulary are always there with you, whereas passive vocabulary indicates synonyms and less common lexical items. So we are going to see how that makes a difference. So if you are using simple vocabulary, then the score is 3, whereas if you see band 7, let's quickly move on to band 7. I'm just highlighting that for you. Band 3 says simple vocabulary. Band 7, this one, says uses less common idiomatic vocabulary. So if you are using less common vocabulary, you can see that the score is 7 or better 8. Uses less common and idiomatic vocabulary. So what should you make a note of, guys? You have to make sure that you avoid using too many simple words. You have to try using synonyms, paraphrase as much as possible. If you see band 3 rarely attempts paraphrase. Band 4 attempts paraphrase but with mixed success. Band 5 generally paraphrases successfully. Band 6 paraphrases effectively. Band 7 paraphrases effectively as required. See, if you see, the band score is going on increasing with the amount of paraphrasing that you do. So the more you paraphrase, the better are your chances to get an 8 or above. And one more thing to note down in lexical resource is the use of idiomatic vocabulary. If you see band 2, band 3, band 4, band 5 and band 6, nowhere it is mentioned about idiomatic vocabulary. However, when you look at band 7, this particular column shows idiomatic vocabulary and shows awareness of style and collocation. So we are also going to come up with videos of collocation, but for now understand that collocations are words which are naturally used together. So something like highly essential, very important. Okay, so such words are called collocations. So if you're demonstrating your style in using idioms and collocations, the minimum band score guaranteed is a 7. Are we not aiming for that, guys? Yes. So if you are using idioms skillfully, then the score is 8. If you are using idioms naturally and accurately, then the score is 9. So having understood that, what is our checklist now? So paraphrase as much as possible. So this is the first point. Second point, use less common lexical items like passive vocabulary. Third one, use a wide range of vocabulary. That's going to give you that band 8 or probably band 9. Then familiarize yourself with as many topics as possible, because we have seen that in band 2 and band 3 has insufficient vocabulary for less familiar topics. And even band 4 says is able to talk about familiar topics but only convey basic meaning about unfamiliar topics. So band 5 says manages to talk about familiar unfamiliar topics. So the more you're prepared with the topic, the more you get to know the topics, the better it is. Then use idioms and collocations skillfully. We have clearly seen that this is going to give us that band 8 or band 9. And finally, avoid memorized utterances. So this is about lexical resource. Now we shall move on to grammatical range and accuracy. So the name itself indicates grammatical range, which means you need to show a wide variety of sentence structures. If you can demonstrate that, then definitely the score for grammar goes up. And there is one more factor here, grammatical accuracy. So whatever you speak needs to be precise and correct. So if you look at band 2, cannot produce basic sentence forms. So this person is unable to make a sentence. Then band 3 attempts basic sentence forms but with limited success. And he or she relies on memorized utterances. See guys, once again I'm stressing, if you are relying on memorized utterances, you will definitely lose the band scores for lexical resource as well as grammatical range. Then one more thing they are highlighting here, band 4 if you see produces basic sentence forms and some correct simple sentences, but subordinate structures are rare. Already we have understood what are subordinate structures. Subordinate structures, which are also called subordinating conjunctions, are used to link the two clauses into a complex sentence. So we have already made a video on complex sentences where I particularly stressed on coordinating and subordinating conjunctions. So please refer to our YouTube channel World of English Exams for that. Then band 4 says uses a limited range of complex structures. That means a candidate who is getting band 3 cannot form complex sentences. Whereas if you attempt to form complex sentences straight away, your band shoots up to a 5. Then 6 says uses a mix of simple and complex sentence structures but with limited flexibility. So this candidate definitely demonstrates an ability to use a combination of simple and complex structures. However, they are not always appropriate. Then band 7, range of complex structures, and he or she will produce majority of error free sentences, though some grammatical mistakes are there. So they're not expecting 100% accuracy from you. All they're looking for is your capability of forming and demonstrating your ability to form sentence structures with flexibility and accuracy. Band 8, see, uses a range of structures flexibly. Majority of the sentences are error free with occasional inappropriacies. Band 9, again, uses a full range of structures naturally, produces consistently accurate structures, so which is a characteristic of native speaker speech. So when native speakers are speaking English, definitely they will demonstrate their ability to link the ideas and connect sentences to make the sentence structures more complex, isn't it? So you should practice that too in order to get that band 8 or band 9. I hope you understood that. And your checklist for grammar is pretty simple, guys. There are just 2 points. Ensure that you practice speaking confidently. Then the second thing is use a wide range of sentence structures: simple sentences, compound sentences, complex compound sentences, passive sentences, and conditional sentences. If you can demonstrate your ability to use all these sentence structures appropriately and skillfully, then nobody can take away that 8 from you for grammatical range and accuracy. Having known that, let's move on now to the last factor, which is pronunciation. So this is more or less taken for granted by most of the students. However, there are just 2 or 3 points that you have to know. There is this is a very simple factor, I must say. If you look at band 2, speech is often unintelligible. That means I'm not able to understand what the candidate wants to convey. Then band 4 says uses a limited range of pronunciation features. Guys, the first thing to note is that you have to understand what is meant by pronunciation feature. That's why in the first point of the checklist I gave this: use a range of pronunciation features while speaking. So what is a pronunciation feature? How many kinds of pronunciation features are there? So definitely I'm going to come up with that. So my next series of videos are going to be about mind mapping, about pronunciation features, and such other important things which I think is very important for your speaking test. Then uses a limited range of pronunciation features. But now let's jump on to band 9. Uses a full range of pronunciation features with precision. Band 8 also says uses a wide range of pronunciation features. Band 6 says uses a range of pronunciation features. So the main element to improve your score in pronunciation is to get to know what are these pronunciation features. So this is definitely going to influence your score. Then now let's look at this one. Mispronunciations are frequent. So here if you look at band 9, sustains flexible use of features throughout and is effortless to understand. That's it, guys. Only 3 points will shoot up your score for pronunciation. First, using a range of pronunciation features while speaking. Second, avoiding lapses and lag, which means if you are prolonging the word for a long time, if you are not speaking or pronouncing the word properly. Then the third point also stresses on the same thing, which is avoiding mispronouncing the words. So this is as simple as this, guys. Please do follow these checklists. The first checklist is for fluency and coherence. Second checklist is for lexical resource. The third checklist is for grammatical range and accuracy, and the fourth one is for pronunciation. So this video, I hope, was very helpful for you in understanding the band descriptors and how exactly can you improve your scores to a band 8 or 9. So if you found this video helpful, please do like it, share it with your friends, and last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel World of English Exams. Till I see you with the next informative video on the IELTS exam. Happy preparation, guys.